All right, get ready, because today we're going deep into how your zodiac sign, impacts your love life. So,
ooh, interesting.
We're using zodiac signs, love, and communication styles as our guide today.
Okay.
And even if you're not super into astrology,
right?
I think there are some really interesting insights here about, relationships.
For sure.
So,
yeah, because it's all about whether you call them zodiac signs or just like personality archetypes.
Right.
The way we communicate and experience love. I mean, it's kind of a universal puzzle, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to go beyond just the typical, sun sign stuff and really dig into why each sign approaches love the way they do,
I love that.
Ready to get a little astrological.
Oh, I'm so ready. Let's start with the fire signs.
Okay.
Always known for their passion and dynamism.
Yeah.
But each one expresses it in their own way.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up we have Aries. Bold, adventurous. Mm-hmm. I always picture an Aries sweeping someone off their feet with some huge romantic gesture.
Oh, totally. Okay. There's definitely some truth to that. Aries is ruled by Mars.
Oh.
Which is the planet of action.
Uh-huh.
So they're very direct about expressing their feelings.
Makes sense.
They need a partner who can match their energy, someone who appreciates that straightforwardness.
Yeah.
It's less about fluffy words and more about, going on adventures together, doing exciting things.
Right. Less talk, more action.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like that friend who's always down for a last minute road trip.
Yeah.
They just go for it.
Totally.
All right. So how does all that fiery energy translate when we get to Leo?
Well, if Aries is the spark, then Leo is the roaring fire, ruled by the sun, naturally. Oh. So they kind of gravitate towards being the center of attention. And that definitely, shows up in their love life. Think big gestures, heartfelt compliments, lots of PDA. Okay, so with all that, attention seeking, could that be, I don't know, maybe a little much for some people? It definitely could be if their partner isn't really on the same wavelength.
Right.
Leos, they really crave validation, appreciation. It's crucial for them to be with someone who truly admires them and isn't afraid to shower them with praise and compliments.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, their confidence can kind of dwindle.
Interesting. So it's not just about them being dramatic.
Right.
It's that deep need to be recognized.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, last but not least in our fire sign trio, we've got Sagittarius.
Yes.
Known for their love of freedom and exploration.
Mm-hmm.
But how does that adventurous spirit, actually play out in relationships?
Well, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion.
Okay.
So they approach love with this sense of playful curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. Yeah. Deep conversations are just as important to them as those exciting adventures.
Right, yeah.
They need a partner who can keep up mentally.
Yeah.
And someone who respects their independence.
So someone who can debate philosophy and hike a mountain.
Exactly.
That's quite the combination.
It is. Trying to tie a Sagittarius down or stifle that adventurous spirit, that's a surefire way to extinguish their flame.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
We're moving from the fiery passion of fire signs to the grounded practicality of earth signs.
Yes.
Known for their stability, their sensuality.
Mm-hmm.
But let's unpack what that really means, when it comes to love.
Yeah, I love that. Earth signs are all about building something solid, something lasting.
Okay.
They express their love through tangible actions and a deep sense of loyalty.
Gotcha. So first up in our Earth sign lineup, we have Taurus. Always heard they're all about those sensual pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really all luxurious dates and fancy gifts?
Well, it's definitely part of their love language.
Okay.
Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and pleasure.
Right.
So they find joy in those sensory experiences.
Yeah.
Cozy nights in, delicious meals, physical touch.
Right.
But it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
They crave a stable foundation.
Yeah.
That lasting commitment. And they offer, in return, unwavering loyalty and devotion.
So they're not just after a fleeting romance.
Right.
They want that real deal partnership.
Absolutely.
But could that desire for stability ever, I don't know, backfire in a relationship?
It definitely could. Their need for consistency can make them resistant to change.
Right.
And their possessiveness, though it comes from a place of deep caring, can sometimes feel stifling if their partner isn't totally on the same page.
So communication is key, even for these like seemingly grounded signs.
Communication is always key.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. What about Virgo?
Virgo.
Often described as meticulous, helpful.
Yes.
How does that translate to, love and relationships?
Well, Virgos are ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication and analysis. So they show their love through acts of service.
Okay.
Practical support. They're the ones who remember birthdays. They'll fix that broken shelf. They're always offering helpful advice.
So they're the ultimate problem solver.
They are.
That sounds really, really helpful to have in a partner.
It can be. But that analytical mind, it can also lead them to overthink things.
Right.
And to be a bit critical of themselves and their partner.
Right.
Their love might be expressed in kind of subtle ways.
Okay.
And they might struggle to receive affection, like openly and comfortably.
Oh, interesting. So it's important to like really appreciate those small gestures.
Yes.
And make sure they know that like their efforts are seen.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now last but not least, we have Capricorn.
Yes.
Known for their ambition and discipline. But how does that play out in their romantic lives?
Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, the planet of structure and responsibility.
Okay.
So they approach love with a lot of practicality and long-term vision. They are committed partners. They value stability, security, building a future together.
They sound like they would be incredibly loyal partners.
They are.
But does their like serious nature ever make it hard for them to like open up emotionally?
It definitely can. They might struggle to express their feelings openly,
Yeah.
They need a partner who's patient, who's understanding, who's willing to encourage that vulnerability without, forcing it.
Right.
They're slow to commit.
Okay.
But once they do, they're in it for the long haul.
Wow. Okay. So we've explored the passionate flames of fire signs.
Yes.
We've talked about the grounded stability of earth signs. And up next, we'll be diving into the airy realm of air signs.
Ooh, exciting.
Those intellectual and communicative butterflies of the Zodiac.
I can't wait.
I know, it's going to be good.
Okay.
So from that grounded, like, practicality of the air signs, we're floating into the airy realm of air signs now.
Oh, yes.
Known for their wit, love of conversation, sometimes their, flightiness.
Right.
Curious to see how all this intellectual energy, how it shows up in their love lives.
Yeah, air signs really thrive on that mental stimulation and connection.
Okay.
They're the communicators of the Zodiac, always buzzing with ideas.
Right.
Eager to engage in those stimulating conversations.
Oh, for sure. All right, so first up we have Gemini.
Yes.
The Zodiac's social butterfly.
Yeah.
Always, like, flitting from one interesting conversation to the next.
Right.
How do they ever settle down in a relationship?
Well, for Gemini, it's all about, it's ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication and duality. So for them, relationships are kind of an extension of that insatiable curiosity.
Makes sense.
They crave a partner who can keep up with their mental agility.
Yeah.
Someone who challenges them intellectually, who's not afraid of a good debate.
Oh, I like that. I can see how that constant need for, like, mental stimulation could be, I don't know, maybe exhausting for some partners, though.
It could be.
But wouldn't that unpredictability also, like, keep things exciting?
Oh, totally. Geminis are definitely drawn to novelty.
Yeah.
Variety.
Yeah.
Which can, sometimes make them seem inconsistent or indecisive.
Right.
Their partners might need to embrace that spontaneity and flexibility.
Okay. So while, like, a weekend getaway planned months in advance might be a Taurus's dream date.
Right.
A Gemini might prefer a last-minute concert or like a surprise visit to a new museum.
Exactly.
That's interesting. So how does that airiness translate when we get to Libra?
Libra.
They're known for their love of balance and harmony, right?
Yes. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty.
Okay.
So they seek that harmony and connection in all aspects of life, especially relationships.
Right.
They're natural diplomats, always striving for fairness and compromise.
That sounds lovely. But doesn't that desire to please everyone sometimes lead to them, like, neglecting their own needs?
You're absolutely right. That is a key point. Libras, they often put their partner's happiness above their own.
Yeah.
And they might struggle to express their needs directly, you know, because they don't want to upset the balance.
Right, right. So it's important for their partner to create like a space where they feel safe.
Yes, yes.
To communicate openly.
Yeah.
Honestly, without fear of judgment.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, rounding out our air sign trio, we have Aquarius.
Yes.
The free-spirited, like, rebel of the Zodiac.
Oh, yeah?
How does their independent nature, how does that affect their approach to love?
Well, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation and unconventionality.
Okay.
So they really defy those traditional relationship norms.
Interesting.
You know, they value their individuality and freedom above all else.
Uh-huh.
They need a partner who respects that need for space and autonomy.
No clingy partners for an Aquarius.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
But how do they balance that need for independence, like, with the intimacy of a relationship?
For Aquarius, intellectual connection is key.
Right.
You know, they crave a partner who can engage them in those stimulating conversations, challenge their perspectives, embrace their unique way of seeing the world.
Right.
They express love in kind of unconventional ways through acts of service, shared intellectual pursuits, and a deep respect for their partner's individuality.
Okay, so we've traversed the passionate flames of fire signs, the grounded stability of earth signs, and the intellectual breezes of air signs.
Phew, what a journey.
Now we're diving into those deep, like, emotional waters of water signs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, get ready to explore the realm of intuition, empathy, and profound emotional depth.
Water signs are known for their sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
Their ability to, like, tune into their emotions and the emotions of others.
Mm-hmm.
But how does that emotional intensity, how does that, like, play out in their love lives?
Well, water signs, they experience love with their whole being.
Oh, okay.
They crave that deep, soulful connection. And they're not afraid to, like, dive into the depths of their emotions.
Right, okay. So first up in our water sign exploration, we have Cancer, the nurturer of the Zodiac,
Sure.
always putting others first.
Mm-hmm.
How do they, like, navigate that balance between caring for others and taking care of their own needs in a relationship?
Well, Cancer is ruled by the moon, the celestial body associated with emotions and nurturing.
Okay.
So they seek emotional security, a deep sense of belonging in relationships. They create this warm, welcoming space for their loved ones, offering unwavering support,
Right.
a listening ear.
They sound like the ideal partner to come home to after a long day.
They do. They do.
But with all that caregiving, is there a risk of them, I don't know, becoming emotionally drained or even, like, taken advantage of?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cancers are incredibly sensitive and they can easily absorb the emotions of those around them.
Yeah.
So they need a partner who understands that need for reassurance.
Right.
Who reciprocates that nurturing energy, you know, creates a safe space for them to be vulnerable and to express their feelings openly.
So open communication and emotional reciprocity are key for a Cancer to really thrive in a relationship.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. What about Scorpio?
Scorpio.
They have this, you know, reputation for intensity and passion.
Mm.
How does that play out in their love lives?
Well, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and intensity.
Okay.
So they approach love with this fierceness and depth that's really unmatched.
Yeah.
They crave that soul-stirring connection, one that transcends the superficial and really delves into the depths of their being.
They sound like they would be incredibly loyal partners, but maybe also, like, quite demanding.
Mm.
Is there a risk of jealousy or possessiveness with that level of intensity?
It's definitely something to be mindful of.
Okay.
You know, Scorpios, they have this deep-seated need for control.
Right.
Which really stems from a fear of vulnerability. Mm-hmm. They might struggle with trust issues, and they need a partner who's honest, who's transparent, and who's willing to dive into those depths of emotion with them.
So building trust and establishing those, like, clear boundaries are crucial for a Scorpio to feel secure in a relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And finally, we have Pisces.
Yes.
The dreamy, romantic, like, artist of the Zodiac.
The dreamer.
How does their sensitive nature and vivid imagination, how does that influence their love life?
Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams and illusion.
Okay.
So they approach love with a sense of idealism, unconditional compassion. You know, they see the best in everyone, and they often put their partner's needs before their own.
They sound like the ultimate, like, romantic partner.
They do.
But doesn't that level of selflessness sometimes lead to them being taken advantage of?
It's definitely a risk. You know, Pisces can get so caught up in that fantasy of love that they might overlook red flags.
Right.
Ignore their own needs. They need a partner who's grounded, who's supportive, and who encourages them to, you know, to set those healthy boundaries.
So even for Pisces, the most romantic sign of the zodiac, a healthy dose of reality and self-care is essential for a fulfilling relationship.
It is. It is.
Wow, we really went through the whole zodiac wheel there.
We did.
From fiery passion to grounded stability, intellectual sparks, and those deep emotional currents.
I know, it's amazing.
What a ride.
It really is.
It really highlights all the different ways that people connect, right?
Yes.
And each sign brings its own unique, flavor.
Totally.
Exactly. And while we've kind of gone through the typical traits for each sign,
right,
it's important to remember that, astrology it's complex.
Oh, for sure.
There's so much more to it than just, your sun sign.
Absolutely. Your moon sign, your rising sign, where all the other planets are in your birth chart.
Yeah.
It all paints a much bigger picture of your personality and how you approach relationships.
So this deep dive is really just a starting point.
Totally.
It's getting a taste of each flavor, but there's a whole world of nuances to explore.
Exactly.
And even within a single sign.
Right.
There's so much variation, right?
Huge.
So we definitely don't want to box anyone in.
No, not at all.
Based on their sun sign alone.
Right.
But I think understanding these archetypes.
Yes.
It can give us some really good insights.
That's for sure.
Into how our relationships work, right?
Absolutely. It's like having a roadmap, not a set of strict directions,
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing those patterns and tendencies, not rigidly defining
exactly
who someone is or how they're going to act.
It's more about using those insights.
Yeah.
To, cultivate greater understanding, compassion, better communication.
For sure. For sure. So as we wrap up this deep dive into, zodiac love and communication styles,
right,
what's the one key takeaway that you hope our listeners will kind of carry with them?
I would say pay attention to how your partner expresses love.
Okay.
And think about what makes them feel truly loved in return.
Yeah.
It's not just about speaking your own love language,
right,
but learning to understand and appreciate your partners.
That's so important.
That's the real secret to a fulfilling relationship.
Yeah.
Regardless of zodiac sign.
That's beautifully said. Learning to speak each other's love language. Navigating those differences.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens. And remember, this journey of understanding ourselves and others.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing adventure.
It is. Well said.
Thank you.
All right. So to all of our listeners out there,
yes,
keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into, all the wonders of the world around you.
Exactly.
Until next time.